Hello, everybody, and welcome to our meeting today. And let's kick it off with Pat Patch.
You'll join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll join me in the four-way test of the things we think and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Margaret, she's
I'm going to read you a little something from this book that Jim read from a few weeks ago. This is to celebrate National Black History Month and Valentine's Day. And this book is written by Martin Luther King, and it's called Why We Can't Wait. And in this part, he's talking about the March on Washington, which came in the August 28th, 1963, after a summer of peaceful demonstration in Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, among the nearly 250,000 people who journeyed that day to the Capitol, there were many dignitaries and many celebrities, but the spirit and emotion came from the mass of ordinary people who stood in majestic dignity as witnesses to their single-minded determination to achieve democracy in their time. They came from almost every state in the Union. They came in every form of transportation. They gave up from 1 to 3 days' pay plus the cost of transportation, which for many was a heavy financial sacrifice. They were good-humored and relaxed, yet disciplined and thoughtful. They applauded their leaders generously, but the leaders in their own hearts applauded their audience. Many a Negro speaker that day had his respect for his own people deepened as he felt the strength of their dedication. The enormous multitude was the living, beating heart of an infinitely noble movement. It was an army without guns, but not without strength. It was an army into which no one had to be drafted. It was white and Negro and of all ages. It had an adherents of every faith, members of every class, every profession, every political party united by a single idea. It was a fighting army, but no one could mistake that its most powerful weapon was love.
Okay, let's see. I think we have one visiting Rotarian, my old buddy Al Francis from the Wednesday Club. Welcome. And then I think, John, would you like to introduce your guest?
Shell Helper. Shell works in our office, and it's a delight to be around. Some of you already know her, and hopefully you'll get to know her better, and she will be part of this group.
I'm somewhat new to Oregon. I've been here 5 years. I come from Texas. I hope you don't hold it against me. I got here as fast as I could. But I fell in love with Century 21 and the thing with we're in another life. COVID hit. I couldn't get my reporters to go back into the legal system and work, and I fell in love with the real estate industry. I had some experience with that in the past, and I joined Century 21, and now here I am 5 years later. This is me. Tell Chris I said hello, but John is just such a great gentleman and a fantastic mentor.
She doesn't know the real me.
And he believes in me, and so I'm just thrilled to be his guest today and to learn a little bit more about the Rotary. So thank you.
Yes. Okay, how about announcements?
Oh, we're not.
You got any announcements?
Fun mom.
No announcements. That's highly unusual in this club. All right, well, let's go to Lisa Looney. We have a Service Club Self Award today.
Good afternoon. Today it is my pleasure to introduce our February Student Service Above Self Award winner from North Valley High School. And she has her graduation coach, Mrs. Miller, who will introduce her, and it is Jessica Lapp.
Hi, can you guys hear us? So I have sitting next to me Jessica Ladder. I will let her talk a lot about her as a person and her future goals, but I just want to kind of outline a couple of things. Her service above self, very deserving for her. She is our cheerleader here at school. She does a lot of things outside of school to help her community. Here at school, she leads all PEP assemblies. She's all about sporting events and anything else that's going on within the school. She is your go-to. Her plans include going to University of Oregon, and I'll let her talk about her course of study. But I'm super excited for her, well-deserved award for her, and I'll let her kind of sum that up a bit.
Yeah. So I would say at North Valley, maybe my sophomore year, or I feel like my sophomore year, I changed a lot compared to my junior year. My junior year, I kind of found like a passion for leadership, and I just really wanted to improve our school because I love North Valley, but at the beginning, I feel like we didn't have as much school spirit and as many events that people wanted to do and that kind of stuff. So I love planning events that everybody will like to do, and just getting people excited to do stuff for school and trying to make North Valley an enjoyable place for everybody. And I'm a part of Interact also. I love participating in volunteer opportunities like that, and I feel like Interact has brought a lot of those opportunities to me. One of those opportunities was going to the RILA summer camp, and that was really cool. That was a really cool experience. So I love being in Interact and leadership, and we also just brought a student council to leadership. So that's like a group of officers to kind of perceive us as an established group. And I was the only person who ran for student body president, so I won by default, but I felt like it was deserving anyways. What am I supposed to say? Thank you guys for all of the gifts that I'm looking at on this paper and are in front of me. I appreciate it very much.
How about any questions? Any questions? Jessica?
Well, I was trying to figure it out. I heard that she's going to the University of Oregon, but I was wondering what she was interested in studying and where it might lead her.
What are you interested in studying at the University of Oregon, and where may it lead you?
So I'm interested in studying either public relations or journalism because I intend to find a career where I can be involved in my community like I am right now and put my communication skills to good use. Not quite sure what I want to do specifically, but going to college and doing something like that will get me started, kind of put me on a path to wherever I want to be.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Nope. Lisa, do you want to say anything else? No?
Very much.
All right, well, okay, well, congratulations. We're happy to present you with this. And,
Thank you.
obviously you've earned it, so congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Tommy Drake, I think just left. No. Oh, she's back here. Tommy, could you come up here, please? You'll have enough time to finish chewing on the way up.
You do.
Something good? Oh, good. This is from, come on up. This is from Jane Falls. She's the Rotary, let's see, she's the club president of Springfield. And she's basically in charge of the Polio Plus program for our district. And I won't read you the whole letter, but I'll read you parts of it. So, dear President James, that's me. President James, I am pleased to send you the enclosed Polio Plus Society member certificate for your club member, Tommy Drake. She has actually been Polio Plus Society member and makes a commitment to contribute at least $100 per year to end polio until polio is eradicated from our world. She joined 669 other fabulous District 5110 Rotarians who have made this valued commitment. As our District 110 Polio Plus Chair, I'm deeply grateful to their ongoing support to end polio worldwide. Plus, the contributions are matched 2-to-1 by the generous Gates Foundation. There's some boilerplate language that talks about how to get involved, and there's a form that I'll make sure we all get a copy of. And basically then she said, for me, ending polio is both personal and professional. My sister lived with polio and my career has been committed to making the world accessible to all with disabilities. And this is from, again, James Falls. So this is, you get a little pin and you get a little bumper sticker. But you get this, it says, Rotary International District 5110, Tommy Drake as a member of the Polio Plus Society. There you go.
There we go. That's better. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's really a good thing. I started doing this with Del, started it for our district, Del Gray, in 2012, so it's a good thing. And we're gonna get rid of polio.
When the Salk or the Saving vaccination came out, I think it was 1953. I mean, it goes way back when. Anyway, amazing what we've done, the progress we have made. Okay, so we have a little event. Hopefully it's gonna be fun. I think it will be. But doing the program committee of working with them, they work really hard because there's 52 weeks out of the year, and maybe we take off a week or two, but pretty much they try to have something going every week. And I thought, well, let's do something on our own. Let's try to entertain ourselves. So I thought, well, let's have a poetry reading. And so that's what we're gonna do. So what I'd like you to do, we've got about 11 people who are signed up, who have volunteered to read something. John, yes, sir. John's getting worried. We're not ignored. In fact, you're number one. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll call two names, the person about to read and then the person on deck. So the person on deck should be ready, just like in baseball, get ready. And then when that person reads, I'll let the next person on deck know who it is. So with that, the first two are John Jones, and then Zara, you're on deck after John. So come on up here. Oh, we got little gifts for you. So go ahead, John.
Well, before I start the poetry, I want to say that I went to the city park today, and the Rotary has been involved in helping to provide breakfast for some of these people. And it was a heartwarming experience. These are not young drug dealers. These are people older than most of us that are there getting something to eat. And a lot of them have their pets. And it was a joy to watch, and I'm gonna be proud to be serving them next week. And some of you have already been doing it. How many have? God bless you. Okay, poetry. This one I wrote years ago, the only good poem I ever wrote. Spring question. If fall is dry wine with sparkling vistas, sharp and fine, what is spring? With birds in passion dance and beckoning tune, with the fragrant rush of flowers into bloom, what is spring? If fall is dry wine, spring is surely sweet perfume. I can't stop. And my wife, I said, hey, what do you want to do for Valentine's Day? She says, nothing, write me a poem. So you get to hear what I wrote. Joan Angela, this is for you. I'm telling you now, my love is true. I'm so glad we met online.
We laugh, we giggle, it's real fine. I laughed and laughed that early fall when you texted me, you dropped the ball. On the Ponte Vecchio, I asked for your hand. You said, huh? So I dropped to one knee and everyone knew that you were for me. We love each other and rarely quibble, but if we do, we then laugh and giggle. You're so full of love and all can see how kind you are to others, not just me. Yes, you love me, this I know, because your smile has told me so. I am such a lucky fella that you, Joni, are my Angela.
Just grab it randomly. Well, I want the big one. There you go. Sour Patch, there you go. All right. See, I knew we had talent in this club. Okay, Zara, you're next, and then Tommy. Tommy Drake, you're on deck.
I did not write any of these poems. They're all very short, but I cannot write because I cannot rhyme, so yeah. Anyway, the first two little ones are for Dawn, because she wanted me to use room. So they're really, really short. First one is love is a sea where intellect drowns. And the second one is, so wherever you are and whatever you do, be in love. These are all from Google. Oh, my darling, my eyes are full of tears. What they can see no more. I wish you were here to chop these onions for me. Okay. What I love about you is truly hard to describe. It's your eyes I love the most? No, it's your hair. No, I think I love the most is that you're always there. That's not funny. Okay. You and I are in love. So when you laugh, I laugh. When you cry, I cry. You scream, I scream. You run, I run. You smile, I smile. You jump over the bridge. I think I miss you.
Close your eyes, gotta close your eyes and pick anything you want. Ooh, more candy, all right. It's all thinking. Okay, Tommy, and then, let's see, Jenny, you're next.
I don't know, I haven't seen any today.
All right. Then Valerie, what would be after Tommy?
Well, this is for my darling, which I gave it to him yesterday, and it's a poem by E. Cummings. Love is more thicker than forget, more thinner than recall, more seldom than a wave is wet, more frequent than to fail. It is most mad and moonly, unless it shall unbe, than all the sea, which only is deeper than the sea. Love is less always than to win, less than never than alive, less bigger than the least begin, less little than forgive. It is most sane and sunly, and more it cannot die than all the sky, which only is higher than the sky.
Yay. Okay, there you go. All right. Where's Ray? No, it's you then.
Okay.
Go.
Tell the story.
Okay, this is amazing that this particular week this was brought up. But the reason I say so is I am not a poet, but my daughter officially this week published a book of poetry that you can find on Amazon. I just bought myself 3 copies right before I came. And the name of the book is May Magic Moments Find You, Poetry for Fellow Wanderers. K.L. Lovelace. And for my ancestors of the past, present, and future, and for everyone trying their best to lead with love through the ups and downs, the cycle of time. Thank you for reading, and then this is a note from the author, which I think sounds poetic in itself. The way that these short poems flowed through me felt like magic, teaching me that magic is all around us, if only we are ready to receive it. Magic is receptivity to universal messages, and it is also what you do with it. It is living with an openness to receive and intentionally to engage. I am no expert and only just dipping my toes into vast sources of magic, esotericism, and history. But you do not have to be an expert to let your intuition guide you. These histories are within us after all. My first magical crush, as many before me, is on the gorgeous and knowing moon, the promise of a certain rhythm that carries us ever forward as we ebb and flow with luminosity and darkness. I find this rhythm both divine and reassuring. I love that while the moon is always moving forward, she is also always retracing her original steps, gathering ever more insight in order to develop a fuller picture as time marches on. I've organized these poems to align with the cycle of the moon. This is more about the moon's path than it is the exact phases, each section representing a leg of the journey. The truth is that every part of the cycle contains multitudes, as cycles are infinite and layered. I hope that these pages you find affirmations, reflections, and releases that are meaningful to you on your journey, fellow traveler. And I'll just read one of them. Meeting myself. I looked in the mirror and saw myself. Freckles, zits, scars, pink skin, dark eyes. Dive in. I am defensive. Been defending my whole life. My right to be me, be loved, love my hobbies, feel my feelings. I can shed my defense. It never served me well, hurting myself with my own weapons. And this is pandemic or not. Stayed home alone for a whole year, and I still love mascara, lip gloss, a good hair day, feeling cute, dressing up, confirmation that it was always for me. So that's just kind of I look at it as kind of a window into her soul, seriously, and I'm just so proud of her. She's my baby, and she is in Austin, Texas. So she graduated from Oregon State and then traveled to Austin to get a master's in public affairs. And what she does there is she's a health community leader. So she has like 20 hospitals that she works to make sure that they're giving back to the community and doing their nonprofit duty to help in the community. So that's what she does. So I'm very, very proud of her. So I thought that was, yeah. This is the kind of poetry that I found. I found this author. No thanks. Okay, about standing in kinship by Kimberly Blazer. We all have the same little bones in our foot. 26, with plenty names like navicular. Together they build something strong. Our foot arch, a pyramid that is holding us up. The bones don't get cast when they break. We take them, one flange to its neighbor for support. Other things like sorrow work that way too. Find healing in the leaning and the closeness. Our feet have 1/4 of all the bones in our body. Maybe we should give more honor to our feet and to all those tiny but blessed cogs in the world. Communities, the forgotten architecture of friendship.
Kelly Moody, we're on deck. On deck. On deck.
Especially for new members and for guests, I need to give you a little background about this limerick. Last year, the Rotary year changes on June 30 to July 1. Last year's president was Gina Marie Augusta. it was the second time that Gina Marie has been president of our club. And we had a celebration that Margaret and I were a little late to. We were asked to write limericks and other things to honor Gina Marie after her year as president. And then we segued into James, sorry, President.
President James.
Starting this year. So this is what I wrote, and I kept it on my phone, even though it was too late to say it because we had finished that segment of the celebration. Gina Marie, there once was a woman from GP who went by the name Gina Marie. She had so much fun as president, we may make her a permanent resident. Next time she wears that hat, makes 3.
You're on deck.
So I thought I would do a traditional poem. And what I found out in the rereading poetry is that that's wonderful. It's as if you've never read it before when you read it more than one time. This is a poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay. She wrote this in 1931. It's called Love Is Not All. It is not meat, nor drink, nor slumber, nor a roof against the rain, nor yet a floating spar to men that sink and rise and sink and rise and sink again. Love cannot fill the thickened lung with breath, nor keen the blood, nor set the fractured bone. Yet many a man is making friends with death, even as I speak, for lack of love alone. It may be that in a difficult hour, pinned down by pain and moaning for release, or nagged by want past resolution's power, I might be driven to sell your love for peace, or trade the memory of this night for food. It may well be. I do not think it would.
So, my poem that I will share with you is, as many poems are, also a song. And, I wrote it back in the early 80s. And, I was a single mom. I had 3 little boys. I was in college full time. And we were living in a 2-bedroom married housing apartment that was 2 bedrooms, and then the rest of everything else was all the other rooms. So it was tight. It was tight as far as money, it was tight as far as activities. One of the things we did every single night is I read the kids stories or we sang songs. My dad decided at some point he should buy me a guitar and I should teach myself to play the guitar. Apparently, being a single mom with 3 little kids and going to school full time, I needed something in the game. So that's what I did. I taught myself playing the guitar. And so I really like, folk songs, those songs with like 3 chords, and you could just do singing over and over again. And one of my favorite groups was Dr. Hope and the Medicine Show. That's exactly what I did. Well, I don't know if you remember the song Sweet Straw, but that was one of the kids' favorites. And so one night I said, I have a side too. And so I started singing the song. And I'm going to attempt to probably sing and talk it because between the old grandma voice and the bronchitis, my song voice is a little rough. But that is what I would love to share with you. Certainly not a professional, definitely amateur, but it's from the heart, and I can't tell you how many times I've sung this over the years. So, sweetest of all. Okay. Of all the nights that I remember, of all the nights I recall, there are many that live in my memory, but 3 are the sweetest of all. The oldest of them is named Derek. He's 10 and my right-hand man. Ryan's the middle, he's 7. He helps me as much as he can. The baby, of course, is named Bradley. He's a pistol and we love him so. These are my boys, they're my greatest of joys. I love them more than they will know. I can't believe how quick you noticed that. I can't see how many times I've done that song. Jesus, Pete.
They put him from the side. What was his hand to me? Are you one of them? Yeah. You want to say candy? Yes. It's all candy. Well, what's Valentine's Day? yesterday?
Oh. Thank you. Nice.
Here.
So, I wanted to read this to you because I'm new to the group and I'm getting to know you all. And one of the things I love to do is write, and I wanted to read you something that I wrote. I think it's an appropriate thing for all of the love poems that have been up here so far, because this one is on forgiveness. Behind the rain comes the clean, clear sun, giving sharp edges to everything it touches. And with the clarity comes my new awareness. I shrug off the complacent idea of myself as a gentle soul, and am reminded of my frowning moods, full of rage like rushing waters in an overfull river that pours with angry power over a trembling dam. In sunlight, I see clearly the need for loving kindness and forgiveness that I lack. I know that I am destructive when I cannot hold it back. I am awash with judgment, a flooded plain, black waters, cooling and removing the distinctive and defining characteristics. Those being judged are painted as entirely wrong, and I no longer see any of their goodness, only my own judgment of them. In the sun, I am able to see more clearly at a distance. Cause and effect, and my own part, become clearer. The plan unfolds not at my pace or in my way, but broader and with greater vision, so that both rain and sun, rage and love, judgment and loving kindness, each had their role and shaped my growth. Not stunted by the limits of my human perspective, fearful and lacking in scope, but grand like the mountains, or the canyons whose majestic vistas come from raging waters, eroding that shape rough edges. We are God's artwork, a living drama of love in action and in play.
Thank you. Went a little faster than I expected. I wasn't gonna read this poem. Oh, Debbie, I didn't know you were on.
Well,
Come on.
I didn't.
Okay, come on up.
Make this meeting,
Travel in every crowd, right?
But, so in sixth grade, we were supposed to bring a poem to class. And we had recently moved to Grants Pass we've been in Rotary for a couple of years. But anyway, my father was enamored with Robert W. Service. He just loved that author. And I love my dad. I love those poems also. So I brought a Robert W. Service poem to this class, and the teacher says, Debbie, I had no idea you were so lowbrow. And I go, okay, what's lowbrow mean? But anyway, I still remember the first verse of the poem I brought, and a bunch of the boys were whooping it up at the Malamute Saloon. The kid who handles the jukebox was hitting a ragtime tune. Back at the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew, and watching his luck was his lighted love, the lady that's known as Lou. That's the only bit of poetry I have memorized.
Actually have a book of his poetry on my bookshelf. Um, This is kind of John,
I need to ask you a question. Do you know the X-rated version of that poem?
this is an original one. I wrote it about a month ago and it's sad, very sad. I was gonna read it, but John was talking about working with people in the park this morning. And I thought, well, it needs to be read. So here it is. It's called At a Crossroads. In the gray, at a crossroads in the rain, a dark object forms, crumpled and bumpy, like a soft black bag stuffed with leaves and balls. An irregular shape that moves and has a head, slowly lifting as cars approach, cradling a cardboard sign, soggy in the shape and just like its owner pleaded, spare a dollar. The light stops time, cars and drivers too, each strapped into a personal cocoon of warmth and sound or silence, and maybe even a latte within reach. I hesitate before making contact, knowing time soon will resume, and yet, as is my nature, I wait and ponder. The object is a man with a face tired and beaten, lined and weather-worn, atop a body enduring a misery I do not fathom. Finally, I act, grab my wallet and roll down the window. He is slow, but knows his cue. As we make the transaction, a simple exchange from inside to outside, from warm to cold, from one with to one without. He rewards me with a smile and a kindly, "Thank you, sir," a title from another age that I doubt I deserve. As the light turns and time begins anew, I close the window and move on. Return to the comfort of my cocoon. The man returned to his place along a low wall at a crossroads in a cold rain, sharing a soggy sign with anyone who dares to look. Hey, Sergeant at Arms. Did you not know? You have signed up for Sergeant at Arms. See how good you really are.
2 weeks ago, when I stepped up and I was told that I wasn't it. So I'm Sergeant at Arms, huh?
You can just do happy bugs.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Uh, Do we have any happy bugs?
Don't forget the mic, though. Let's run that thing around. Yeah.
No, well,
Or he can come up, yeah.
Sunday. Sunday, at the Grassroots Museum of Art, almost 30 of us gathered to watch the Super Bowl and play the little games that we have with advertisements to get door prizes. And at the end of the game, which of course went into overtime if you paid attention, the winning score was Kansas City 25 and San Francisco 22. So someone had to swear to have 5 for Kansas City and 2 for San Francisco, and that someone was Greg Millard. He and his wife did their vocational a couple of weeks ago. I think right at the same time I said we're going to have this Super Bowl pool, and they went on a trip, and he mailed me this check and said, "Pick some squares for me." So remember that next year.
we've got some good news to share. Happy bugs.
I wasn't here last week because it was my birthday and I've got 5 happy bucks for family time.
I just love visiting. I haven't been here in about 2 years, but kind of a thing called retirement. But your poetry inspired me. Is songwriting is a passion for me, was fortunate enough to, do a book during COVID and actually release about 24 songs on Spotify. And one of the Oak Ridge Boys that doesn't do a lot of country released one on Spotify. It's a poem that turned into a song that I actually wrote for my love. And since it's Valentine's Day, my wife of 39 years, I can't imagine life without her. But it just starts perspective of love. She looks at me just as I am, but sees me for what I can become, because that's just her way. That's just her way. When others lose their faith in me, she's still there loving patiently, because that's her way. That's just her way. She sees my potential and what my heart's made of, viewing with eternal sight, perspective of love.
Little bit, Valerie. I have happy and gratitude bucks. Gratitude for Greg and all that went in putting the Super Bowl party together. It was very nice. It was a lot of fun. I mean, who would think, a bunch of folding chairs and tables and in an art museum. But I'll tell you, there was hooting and hollering, and it was absolutely delightful. So thank you for that. And so, some of you may know, I've been under the weather for the last, like the weather outside, for the last few weeks. And many of you have checked in on me, sent me food, and have been so kind, and I miss you terribly. So it was really, really good to be in this room, but we're at the sick table far away from you guys. So we're keeping our distance. So anyway, that's so happy bus for all of that. I have some happy bucks, most notably from my daughter's publishing her first book in poetry, which is so exciting. My daughter, the Wanderer, and also because we are in the process, my daughter, myself, and my son, of arranging a 14-day tour of Scandinavia together. So once again, wandering with my children is what I love to do.
Civilized.
So unfortunately, my husband can't always travel with me, but he's willing to let me go off on my wanderings if I could. So looking forward to that.
Now, if you're Scandinavian in nature, well, do you know any Seminole stories?
No.
How about all Elena stories? Oh, does anybody have, we'll hear the happy bucks first.
Well, so you see my lowbrow, part of me so my highbrow part, it was thrilling. I went up to Seattle and saw the ballet Swan Lake. And it was so gorgeous and wonderful, and I'm still smiling about it all. And then, good news for once in the Courier, I had my picture taken for a happy event with the opening of GP Flex, which gives more opportunities for more students, and just we're all thrilled about that all.
Any more happy bucks?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for participating today. This is a risk. I didn't know if we can go over or not. But thank you. The real goal was to hear from people and to sort of learn a little more about each other and what makes you tick, what makes you feel, and what you think, and things like that. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody for participating. And it'll be up to Judy Bassler next year if she wants to do it again.
And my happy buck is that I enjoyed the heartfelt poetry that some of you were able to recite.
Yes.
But I've got a question. When I was a kid in school, they taught me that poetry had rhyme and rhythm. And so many poems anymore don't have that. And I'm looking at them as maybe they are.
It's the modernist tradition. When E.E. Cummings kind of started was to loosen it all up and go wherever.
They're short essays. is what they are. Anyway, that's it. Now for the drawing.
We have 10 cards left.
Oh. Cards, anybody buying more cards?
You'll buy them all? I'll give you it.
You get to draw with a card. 1 in 5.
Right.
Yeah, well, yes.
Okay, so you get the card, any card.
Oh, that's this one. Yeah, okay.
This is the 9 of diamonds. 9 of diamonds.
Even your 1 in 5 chance can't compete with Lisa.
Right.
Well, she probably has the same though.
Anything else? Anything else before I turn this back to President, Mr. President? Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Before we leave, the thought for the day, actually, it's a, oh. Go ahead. Announcements.
Just been passed.
Come on up.
Just need a quick board lady. Passing around the sign-up sheet for greater pledge, inspiration and sergeant at arms, and morning people pony up. So I'm gonna. Oh, okay. Thank you.
We just like to sign up John when he doesn't know it. That's right. That's what I always do, but.
Some blatant announcements out there.
It is an announcement. So, I wanted to let you know that March 14th, which is coming up soon, is gonna be our grant program, and, I'll explain more about the grants then. But we pay dues, and, if you give money to Rotary International, it comes back to you through this grant process that we'll be going through, because we can match our funds with the district funds. And we are eligible to do 2 grants and per year. So anyway, last year we did Jody's shoes and what? Yeah, then the land conservancy, I was gonna say sold, but that doesn't make sense, so anyway. The land conservancy, and we haven't done that event yet. I'm not sure exactly when or which park or wherever it's gonna be, but it's gonna be. So so if you have an idea for something you would like to see us do, we've done things in the past like Family Village, different things. Please talk to me ahead of time or be prepared on the 14th to present your idea to the club, because we all decide what we're gonna do, which one of the ones we're gonna do. And we have a couple in mind and always, but so I want you to know, get ready for March 14th.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Thought for the day. So we couldn't have a poetry reading unless somebody named AI didn't show up. AI is artificial intelligence, and this is a poem that was submitted by Dawn. It was created vis-a-vis AI, and it's called A Love Poem to Rotary. Oh, Rotary, a beacon of light, guiding us toward what is right. With service as your guiding star, you've shown us what love actions truly are. In communities far and wide, you lend a helping hand with pride. From clean water to education, you bring hope and transformation. Through fellowship and unity, you've built a global family With open hearts and open minds, you've left no boundaries behind. Rotary, you inspire us all to answer the world's heartfelt call. With kindness, compassion, and grace, you make this world a better place. So here's the Rotary, forever strong, a love that lasts, a bond so long. Thank you all. Thank you for all that you do, Rotary. We love and cherish you.